Welcome to Fallout 76, this is Jim. In this video we're going to take a look at the daily challenges that we got for today, Tuesday, February the 11th, 2025. Let's take a look at and see what we got for today. Alright, we had some good ones here. I have many videos on my channel that'll help you guys out. You get different ideas, different locations, easy areas, hard areas, I would area. If your friends make a new player to the game, if you're a returning player, even if you're an experienced player, there's a particular daily, weekly challenge that's giving you a hard time or trouble. I'm sure you can find a video on my channel that'll help you. I try to keep my videos as updated as I possibly can. And of course, you guys are awesome. The great comments and tips are greatly appreciated. Okay, if you take a look and wonder why I have a little bit more score going on than you, if you take a look at the top right hand corner of the screen, I have a 25% boost going on right now. Of course, I claimed that right off the current season 19 season pass on 3 pages, a 5%, 10%, additional 10% equaling 25%. And you can claim that by being a Fallout First member, or if you pay the 1500 atoms for the season pass. Now, typically on these days, on Tuesday, I do back-to-back daily and weekly challenge videos, which I do plan on doing here, but I usually use a score booster drink. Okay, now a score booster drink will increase that boost by another 25%. It will stack with 25% or whatever you have available to you, so that is pretty awesome. You guys see me do that most times on Tuesdays. However, I am rank 158, so I'm not going to bother using a score booster drink. I don't even have one. As you can see in the top right-hand corner, there's no refills up there, so I'd have to buy them or use tickets or whatever. But I just always like to kind of make a mention. Okay, let's take a look here. Take a look at this one here first. Consume a vintage alcoholic beverage 1. All right, so anytime that we've opened up the Treasure Hunter Mole Miner pails, we opened up the festive gifts during this past Christmas, most times we will get a vintage type of drink called a vintage Nuka Shine. Okay, and I usually recommend to people during those times to save those vintage ones, even like a half a dozen, and put them right in your stash box. And don't even sell them, don't drop them, because, you know, even if you have like a half a dozen, they're not going to weigh a whole lot. So just have them just for the year, for the odd time that this will pop up. It's definitely worth it, okay? It will just save you a lot of time if you get this stuff for free. Now, a lot of people will sell vintage alcoholic beverages like vintage Nuka Shine or vintage Mire Magic Moonshine in their vendors, just for people who didn't do that. And they usually sell it for fairly cheap. Okay, so it's always good if you don't have it and you're kind of searching around for one in your stash, you don't have any on you. It's always good to kind of check out other players' vendors. It's a good way to get it that way as well. Okay, now we can craft this as well at the brewing station. Okay, so just an FYI. So if we go to our brewing station here, not that one, Jim. That's a chemistry station. Brewing station. If you don't have your own brewing station and fermenter, okay, where is my fermenter? Oh, right there. Basically, you can get both of them by completing the side quest called Wasted on Nuka Shine. And you guys saw that me do that this past summer with my low-level character with Mr.Prince. And we came up here to Big Al's Tattoo Parlor. On the back door, there should be a poster there if you've never done it before. And you interact with the poster, and it'll create a little side quest called Wasted on Nuka Shine. And it's a nice little quest to do. It is a little glitchy, so I recommend if you have any issues, watch that video I made this past summer of 2024. And that way there you can kind of, just in case you have any issues. But at the end, you'll automatically learn a plan for the brewing station and the fermenter. It's not one of those plans that you have to go under your notes and manually read it. You actually automatically learn the plan, right? So just an FYI. So let's go to our brewing station here. I believe I should be able to craft a fermentable Nuka Shine or something. And yeah, there we go. Fermentable Nuka Shine right there. All right, so just an FYI. So again, if you find a just a regular Mire Magic Moonshine or a regular Nuka Shine in the wasteland, okay, all you do is you throw it in your fermenter. And during real life gameplay, right, you'll actually can ferment it into a vintage portion. Okay, you guys seen me do this before with the Mire Magic Moonshine. So let's go ahead. We're going to go after a free Mire Magic Moonshine, and it's right over here at Sunday Brothers Cabin. So let's pop over here today. And there's quite a few bottles over here, and it's a very popular spot. So for those of you who don't have Fallout First and don't have access to private servers, okay, you may have the server hop this a couple times. So just an FYI there. Lock and load, baby. All right, so we're actually going to get up on the this little candy cane roof hut here on the left-hand side. Now, there's usually a couple ghouls here around, so let's go ahead and take care of this guy. Right, there we go. And there may be another one coming up the stairs, but we'll see what happens there. But we can see our Mire Magic Moonshine right over there. There's two of them right over here. And all you need is one, okay? I usually recommend just taking one because there will be other players, especially if you're on those public servers. There's a third one right down there, okay? And there's more on the roof. So we head back out the way we came in. And we're going to take a left. We're going to go right up on the roof here. Again, you don't need a jetpack to get up here. I'm going to come across old Petey here. And right on this table, there'll be two more right there. Perfect. You can kind of pick up. So pick up that Mire Magic Moonshine. Make sure you don't drink it, though, okay? And then go back to your camp where you have your fermenter. The reason why we're doing this one here first is because it does take probably about 10-15 minutes of real-life gameplay. So either go do something, do some more dailies, or just kind of fool around or go AFK. Because if you leave the server, or if you just leave altogether and then come back in an hour or so, you're still going to be in the same spot. You either have to keep playing until that fermenter ferments it. Okay, so it's real-life gameplay time, okay? So let's take our Mire Magic Moonshine here that we get for free. We're going to go right to our fermenter. If you take a look at the right-hand side, we do have 10 slots, and mine's almost full, so we do have a slot available. So let's go under My Food and Drink on the left-hand side. We're going to take our Mire Magic Moonshine, which you can see has a yellow condition bar, and we're going to assign this into the fermenter. You can see that pop over into the fermenter side on the right-hand side. There we go. So what's going to happen once it's in the fermenter, that yellow condition bar is going to slowly decrease, okay? Within 10-15 minutes, it'll become a black bar with a line through it, and it'll have the word vintage in front of it, okay? And that'll be our vintage alcoholic beverage, or vintage Mire Magic Moonshine that we can drink for the daily challenge, okay? And this is only for the people who never saved them, put them in their stash box. Maybe, I know someone had mentioned before that they had a whole whack of them in their stash box and they took them all out and either sold them or dropped them or whatever, just to kind of make room in their stash box. But even if you have a couple, they don't really weigh a whole lot. And that's what I usually recommend when you open up the Treasure Hunter Mole Miner pails or even the Festive Scorched festive gifts. Just save a couple. Even half a dozen is worth it. All right, what's next? So while that's doing, you don't have to be in the camp while it's fermenting. You can go out and do other things and they'll pop up. So we do have it tracked, and we'll see it kind of popping in for us there. Hopefully at some point we'll keep checking in, and then we will drink it. Okay. Let's go to this one here. Collect purified water 5. All right, so we do talk about this one quite often. We can find purified water randomly throughout the game. I know myself, I don't really have a whole lot of luck finding purified water. I tried making a video some time ago and it was just too inconsistent, okay? And I know some people in the past has always kind of put down locations for purified water, and I greatly appreciate that. So if you do know some great locations for purified water, by all means put them in the comments, okay? But I usually talk about these vintage water coolers. Now, of course, we get this plan from opening up the festive gifts. Many of you were very successful in getting these vintage water coolers this past Christmas, and even some were even to buy them from other players' vendors. And these are worth their weight in gold. They will collect 2 purified water while you play the game. These guys here are small enough that you can kind of stack them on top of each other, and they just look very pleasant, okay? Now, there is one in the Season 19 Season Pass. If we open up our build menu here, and we're going to go under the water section right there. Right down here. Now, this is the Enclave water cooler one. Now, I did make a video on this, and I did do a little slight comparison between the two, okay? But as you can see, he is a little bit larger, so you can't stack them on top of each other. I did try it, but he is just like the vintage one, where he'll collect passively 2 purified water at a time. Then you have to kind of collect from it, and then he'll start collecting another 2, okay? And you can use this one here. You can buy this one using tickets right off the current Season 19 Season Pass. And I believe it is available for everyone, not just Follow First members. So that's looking a way to use some tickets. This is something that you can definitely buy. Yeah, that's what I usually recommend to people when they ask me what they can do with their tickets. All right. Now, I realize not everyone's going to have those bad boys, okay? So let's open up our menu again here underwater. So we have these water purifiers, and we actually learned these very early on in game, just following the overseer mission. Okay, so this one will be 2, I believe 5, or sorry, 3 and 5. Okay, and again, they do have a lot of requirements to build. They do require a lot of power to run, but that this is all you have, it's all you have. Okay, and to be honest with you, I've had this right like years. I've had this for a very long time, and it wasn't until up to maybe but a little over 2 years ago I was able to get my hands on this vintage water cooler, and finally, have an easy way out, right? So let's go ahead and collect here. There we go, done just like that. Super easy. I'm just trying to give you guys options, right, where you can find the purified water, but you can also try other players' vendors as well. And a lot of people will have them unlocked at their vendor in their camp, so that's something you can always do too, especially if you're at lower level. You're thinking, how am I going to get a hold of purified water? You can just go around to other players' vendors, and a lot of people usually have a couple that are unlocked in around their vendors on purpose for you to take. All right, let's see what's next here. Okay. Sell a weapon to an NPC vendor 5. So you do this a couple different ways. You go around, kill some enemies. You can go around, try to find weapons in around the wasteland. Now just kind of keep in mind, if you haven't played for quite a while, you will notice that the drop rate for weapons and even armor from killing enemies have significantly been reduced. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind. But if you do find a weapon, you can still do it. Okay, we can find weapons laying around. I find mostly around Welsh. It's a pretty good spot. This weapon just laying there, okay, that you can pick up without having to kill anything. Okay, right over here, excuse me, Somerville's Dam. Right on either side of the suspension bridge, there'll be a shotgun on either side. Where else we got here, Jimmy? There'll be right down here, Somerville's Docks. There's one right in the building itself, the main building. Okay, where there's usually, I think it's the leader of the Scorched. He's usually in there. There's a free weapon usually laying in there. Right up here in Helvetia in the White Church, there'll be a shotgun making your way up to the steeple of the church, so just keep that in mind as well. And actually, I find the Scorched in this area pretty decent to have weapons on them, okay? And even down through Flatwoods, there's a couple good spots where you can find weapons, just kind of pick them up, okay? But if you are short on time, what you can always do is you can always craft a couple of throwing knives, okay? And throwing knives is a default plan you learned at the very beginning of the game. So let's go ahead and go craft here at the weapons workbench. Go down here to throwing weapons. And these throwing knives, as I mentioned, as long as you have the steel, you'll be able to craft these. Everyone should be able to, because it's a default plan right at level 1, all right? Let's go up. We're going to craft 5 of them here. There we go, just like that. And what are we supposed to do with them? We're supposed to sell it to an NPC vendor, okay? And of course, the NPC vendor is any robot vendor at any train station on the map, any robot vendor down at the White Springs Mall, okay? So the north entrance is the best spot. You can use the front entrance too if you so wish, but it's just an additional loading screen. We have a robot vendor resident right up here at Pleasant Valley Ski Resort. We have a robot vendor in the White Church in Flatwoods. We have good old Duchess up here at the Wayward. Traveling merchants that are kind of visiting your camps, you know what I mean? So you don't have to go far, okay? So let's go ahead. We're going to go to a train station. We're going to go to Charleston Station, and we'll sell it to that NPC vendor that's up there. Go ahead and go trade. Sell these throwing knives. Just sell a weapon to an NPC vendor, 5 for 5, done, easy peasy. Now, if you do have, I would say I would recommend either like level 1 weapons that maybe you get from doing events or events in the forest, or you just kind of get them from wherever. Okay, and I usually recommend just 1-star legendaries. These legendary exchange machines, these are also considered NPC vendors. So if you even have one, let's say 1-star or 2-star weapon, you can, exchange it and then buy it back, exchange it, buy it back about 5 times if you so wish. I know some people had mentioned that to me there, and I thought it was a grand idea. So I always like to try to include it into the videos. That is a good idea. All right, something else you can do. What's next here? Harvest a wild plant or fungi, 12, good stuff. So wild plants are also included into crops such as corn and razor grain are included in there. We do have glowing fungus, okay? So Aaronhold Homestead is good. Cobbleton Farm. Silva Homestead, Billings Homestead. Right around the corner from Big Al's Tattoo Parlor, under the overpass is that red barn. There's a bunch of crops there as well. Let's see here. Right behind the General Steakhouse. Right along here, this little road here, there's a lot of unmarked farms down here. You can always check that out too if you so wish. Glowing fungus. We can find glowing fungus pretty much everywhere in the game, especially in around the river systems. You can find a bunch of it between the Wayward and the Flatwoods area. So there's a lot of wild plants just in around this area alone. Right, like those little pink plants and the blue plants. Tons and tons of stuff, okay, right through here if you don't want to venture far from Flatwoods if you're lower level, okay? Again, a bunch of glowing fungus is right down here in Nuke World on Tour in the Tunnel of Love. You don't have to wait for that event to pop up. You can just walk right in, and there's all kinds of glowing fungus in through there as well, all right? So that is a really good spot, actually. So let's go down here today. So we usually go and harvest corn and raised grain. You see me do it all the time. Let's go down here to Nuke World on Tour, which is a free fast travel once when you discover it, of course. And we're going to go right inside the Tunnel of Love. Just so I can show you all this glowing fungus sitting in here. And, you know, of course, you know, places in around, you know, the Sundew Grove areas of Cranberry Bog. Almost everywhere is in the mire, right? Lots of glowing fungus, brain fungus even, okay? Let's go ahead here. We're going to go right inside the Tunnel of Love here. And again, you don't have to wait for that event to pop up. You just walk right in. Wendigo Cave, Abandoned Waste Dump, many great spots, okay? Now, when you are harvesting flora, it doesn't matter what it is. There's a perk card that will help you out under perception. It is called Green Thumb. Recharge as much when harvesting flora. So instead of one, you pick up two, okay? Now, with this particular type of flora, the only one this really works with well is brain fungus. So when you pick up two, you get credit for two. But everything else, when you pick up two, you only get credit for one for daily challenge. And I don't know why that is. Brain fungus is the only one that really works as should. But the green thumb is a perk card you just don't throw out. It doesn't matter if you're herbivore or you're carnivore or whatever. It's a card you hang on to, okay? You don't have to have it equipped like me. I have it equipped just because it just saves me time because my memory's starting to go there because I'm a little older. Yeah, right on, Jim. Let's keep going and pick up this brain fungus or this glowing fungus here. Yeah, right on. There we go. Now, if you are new players to the game, you will come across situations like this out in the wasteland. And you're thinking, okay, I see glowing fungus here. I can't pick it up. What's going on, Jim? There's something wrong with my game, okay? There's nothing wrong with your game. That's just the way the game is, okay? It's always been like that. But just in this one little section, we got enough glowing fungus. But if you keep going, there's a couple other little sections just so I can show you. Just in case you come here and all that is gone. So there's another little patch right there. Kind of pleasant down here. And there'll be a bunch over there. And there'll be a bunch right on the other side of this area right here. There we go. A bunch of glowing fungus. Perfect. All right. What's next here? Let's go ahead and kill some Scorched tents. So again, many great spots we can find in the wasteland for Scorched. We all know the popular areas. We all know the Camden Parks. We all know the Tyler County Fairgrounds, Wavy Willard Water Parks, etc., okay? But if you're a brand new player, you might be running out of ideas, all right? Because if you're limited to public servers and you're playing on the weekend or what have you, and you know, there's just every server you go on is full of people and they're just killing everything, okay? Because you can definitely get on servers and go to these areas and it'd be cleaned right out, okay? So I do have videos I make them every year. It's called Locations for Festive Scorched, Locations for Spooky Scorched, and it is all timestamped, so it doesn't have to be that time of year to utilize those videos, right? You can use them at any time, just the way I do them, because they're all timestamped for places for Scorched, all right? So just an FYI that you can go to many of those places. Let's pop over here to Camden Park here today, because it's just in the somewhat in the general area. Now, if you have a couple grenades or something like that, they definitely will work. You can use any weapon, whatever you want to do. Let's get something to drink here real quick. Holy mackerel, Jim. There we go. Get something to eat at the same time. There we go. Wow. Really letting yourself go there, Jim. What did he say? I think he just swore at me. Nice. Two in one shot there. Love it. Yeah. Let's keep going here. Nice. Just like that, guys. As easy as that. Alright. What's next? That's something you can do too. You can always go after a bunch of Scorched and see how many weapons you just pick up from killing them. You know what I mean? Like a place like Camden Park. And sell them to an NPC vendor that way there. Like if you don't have the steel to craft those throwing knives, it's always an option there for you as well. Alright, what's next? Cripple, Protectron, and Robobrain's arms too. Okay, so Protectrons and Robobrains, being a little bit more specific here rather than just robots. So right up here in the upper section of Clarksburg, we will come across various types of robots, but there should be about a half a dozen Protectrons up there. Right down here in Flatwoods, if you bring up the event called Fertile Soil, there'll be 3 Protectrons that show up here at the Vaultec Agricultural Research Center. But I find that works better if you do bring up that event called Fertile Soil. Right down here in Beckley, it's pretty good in the Beckley Mine exhibit for both Robobrains and Protectrons. Pretty good spot down here. Now there are 3 Robobrains right down here at the Hawksbill Weather Station. Sorry, 4 Robobrains, my mistake. There'll be some Protectrons up here. Where are we at here? Arctos Pharma, pretty good spot. That's probably the first Protectrons you come across, besides the ones down here at the Vaultec Agricultural Research Center. Of course, Sugar Grove's a good spot for Protectrons. Protectrons, Robobrains over here at the Robco Research Center. So many great options there for you guys, okay? So let's actually go down here to the Hawksbill Weather Station. Of course, we do have the trading post for a free fast travel once when you discover it. But we're just going to fast travel down here because we can. And I try to give you guys as many locations as I can. Now, not all weapons are created equal when you're looking to cripple, so I'm hoping this weapon will do the trick, but we may have to get another one. We'll see how it goes here. So we do have to cripple their arms. So you go ahead and free aim for the arms if you so wish. Definitely nothing wrong with that. If you do use VATS as a perk card that will help you out under perception, it is called Concentrated Fire. Allows you to move your VATS around from head, torso, arms, and legs. And if you have the right weapon, you can go left arm, right arm. Just like for the challenges that require legs, left leg, right leg. And you can really maximize, save yourself a little bit of time by getting the most amount of cripples per enemy by doing VATS and Concentrated Fire. But again, at the end of the day, it's up to you what you want to do. I find most ballistic weapons, crossbow, bow and arrow, the drill with a tanky or power armor build, shotgun with the Enforcer perk card. You guys see me do that many times. Plasma caster, plasma rifle. There's our victim right there. Let's go for the arm here. Let's go for the left arm. That's not too bad, actually. Alright, there we go. So we actually only, that worked out pretty good. So we only needed the one. That's pretty awesome. So you saw how I went left arm and then right arm there, just like that. That's all you had to do. But you guys have seen me play enough that you guys know that not all weapons are created equal when you're trying to cripple, okay? The Circuit Breaker, it is not good. And other weapons like that for sure. Alright, good stuff. Let's lock and load, Jimmy boy. So as you can see, we only needed one just by doing it that way. Alright, what's next? Play a daily quest 1. Okay, so if you take a look at the description, you'll come across a link to a video called Complete Daily Quest for Newbies. We don't do every daily quest in-game, but we do quite a few of them, and they're all time-stamped. I show you how to toggle them active and where you can find them, okay? And those are just for the folks that are having issues trying to find daily quests. Now, Not all daily quests we do in the game are considered daily quests, like the ones in White Springs, okay? And the ones here at the Gilman Lumber Mill, even though they're called daily quests, they actually don't, they're not considered daily quests for daily challenges, okay? And there's usually a couple I usually like to kind of highlight to people just for the sheer easiness of them for these videos. There's one here, the Giant Teapot, Talk to Sweetwater. There's one way up here at Prickett's Fort, it's called Talk to the Curator. One over here at the Pumpkin House, it is Speak with Jack at the Pumpkin House. We're actually going to go up here to Prickett's Fort here this time. So talk to the curator, let's go ahead and select that. It says Buried with Honor, let's go ahead and toggle it active so it shows up on our screen. And we're going to fast travel back up here to Prickett's Fort. And we do have Creator as a free fast travel once when you discover. You can utilize that if you so wish. I'm just going to head there. There we go. So there, as you can see, it's on our screen. Now, sometimes it may not show up on the screen like that, okay, your daily quest. So you actually have to go under your Pip-Boy. You'll have to go under Data. You go under Daily. And then you'll have to select it manually this way. We usually have to do that for the one at the Pumpkin House. All right, so just in case you kind of activate that, it's not popping up automatically. Maybe this is the way you can do it manually. All right, so just an FYI. Now, when you talk to this guy, you just interact with them. You don't have to sit there and listen to them. You can if you want, but I just usually interact with them. We're going to head right up here. We have our little rad run. Now, sometimes this guy is glowing and sometimes not. Shoot him in the bum there. Let's get the soldier remains off the table. There we go. As you can see, it's updating itself. Now, the only spot we have to go is right here at the Philippi Battlefield Cemetery, and this is the way it goes every single time for this daily quest. And this has been one of the reasons why I kind of promote the three that I had mentioned, just because how they're easy to do. And again, you can make these as easy as hard as you want, whatever you want to do there. Let's get this guy. There's usually a couple of mongrels up here. There we go. There's going to be more mongrels inside that house. Look at that bad boy right there, that quantum. There's going to be more mongrels inside that house, but we don't have to go inside the house, okay? Let's go ahead. We're going to put our body right in there, just like that. There's usually a shovel around here, so let's go ahead and take the shovel. Now, if you come here and the shovel is not there, there's always a shovel here. There's a shovel here on the other side, just laying right here. So there's 3 shovels here, yeah, just in case if someone forgets to drop it, okay? But it's not good enough just to have the shovel on you. You must have it equipped. Let's go back under Item, under Weapon. Let's equip it just like that. And we're going to fill this grave, and all we do is we just fill. Done. That's how easy this daily quest is. It's so easy. Okay, and again, always get to have to drop the shovel, right? There we go, just like that. Nice. All right, I think we have the one left there. Of course, we started already to consume a vintage alcoholic beverage. Let's head back to our camp, and I would say it should be almost done by now. Look at the time here. Yeah, I think it's been about at least 10-15 minutes here since we started that one off in the fermenter. Alright, let's check our fermenter here. Alright, so he does have a little bit more time. As you can see how the condition bar has decreased, but that's all you have to do basically. You just wait for that to become this, and I would say another maybe 5 minutes, I would say, of real life gameplay. So you see how it kind of went down a little bit. So we're not going to wait for that. We're just going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and drink one, and but you guys get the gist of it anyway. So let's go ahead. We're going to go into our food and drink our vintage Mire Magic Moonshine here. There we go. Just like that, consume a vintage alcoholic beverage, 1-for-1 done. Whoa, baby, whoa. Look at this cat here. All right, and now we are done. Just like that, guys. Nice. All right, weapon of the day. I'm sure you guys are interested in knowing what weapon I'm using. I haven't used it in a long time. It is a 2-shot suppressed Gauss pistol. +1 projectiles for +25% damage. +50% critical damage. +15% bonus VATS critical damage. Critical charge, sorry. Bullets explode for 15% weapon damage. Has a hardened receiver, suppressed barrel drum magazine, reflex sights, and just a default appearance. 151 times 2 damage. It takes 2mm EC, which is heavy, and it's charging, you guys can tell. Nice little weapon, nice little pistol. And again, as I mentioned, it is a pistol, so let's take a look at our perk cards here. All right, so under agility, we have Master Gunslinger, Gunslinger, Expert Gunslinger, all maxed out. We have White Knight and Adrenaline. What else do we have here? Yeah, Science Master, batteries included. Suppressor. You have Fireproof, Tank Killer, Crack Shot, Concentrated Fire, Grenadier. These random luck cards, which passively get activated. Quick Hands is a good one. Legendary perk cards, these don't change for me. They always stay the same. Had them for quite some time. I'm pretty happy with them, and they're all maxed out. Alright, just like that, guys. So there you guys go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and share me at the chance. It really helps me out. I'd like to thank my channel members, Artistically Arranged, Michael Edwards, Nigel Wiffen, Heather, Whitetribe, Robco, Mr. Shelton, Drake Stamps, Mr.Prince, NotMeButMeYesMeThatsMe, Drew, Andrew, Demon, Confoundedbridge, Corne van Niekerk, Ben Durant, John, and DJ59. Thank you all so very much, and I hope you all have a nice day.